The Zanzibar Gem, or ZZ plant, or its Latin name Zamioculcas zamiifolia, is one of the easiest houseplants to kill with kindness. And I did everything right with mine. I bought a beautiful pot, terracotta, good size, looked perfect on the shelf. I used premium potting mix, the kind that comes in the thick plastic bag with the smiling tomato on the front, near a window but not in direct sun. Watered once a week, which felt responsible. I even looked up care guides, 3 of them, and for 8 months, she looked fine. Her name was Vera. Glossy, deep green leaves, waxy stems. She was almost too perfect to be real. Then one morning I noticed the leaves at the base had gone a little yellow. Not a lot, just a couple. My first thought was that maybe she needed more water, so I gave her more water. 6 weeks later, Vera was gone. Not dramatically. There was no sudden collapse. She just faded, one stem at a time. And when I finally pulled her out of that beautiful terracotta pot to see what had happened, I found rhizomes that had turned soft and dark, rotting from the inside out, while the soil was still holding moisture from a watering I had done 2 weeks before. The pot I chose, the soil I chose, I had built a trap, and I had no idea. Here's the thing about the Zanzibar Gem. The one thing that makes it so forgiving in some ways and so unforgiving in others, it is not a normal plant. It doesn't have a normal root system. What's happening underground with the ZZ is completely different from what's happening under your pothos or your peace lily or almost anything else you've kept alive before. And because most care guides treat all houseplants more or less the same, they skip the part that actually matters. Today we're going to talk about the pot and soil mistakes that slowly kill Zanzibar gems. The mistakes that look harmless for months. The ones happening right now in a lot of your homes, in beautiful pots with expensive soil. And then we're going to fix it. Let's start underground, because that's where this story actually begins. Most houseplants have fibrous roots, fine thread-like structures that spread out and absorb moisture. They like consistent moisture. They want to drink regularly. The Zanzibar Gem is completely different. Beneath the soil, it grows what are called rhizomes, thick, fleshy, almost potato-like structures that store water. This succulent-like adaptation is why the ZZ evolved in the drought-prone regions of Tanzania and Kenya and survives harsh conditions so well. It's not tough because it doesn't need water. It's tough because it's already carrying water with it at all times. Think about that. Your ZZ plant isn't waiting for you to water it. It's sitting on a water reserve it built for itself. And that's where the mistake starts. Because those rhizomes store water so efficiently, any extra moisture that doesn't drain away sits right there against the rhizome. Rhizomes, for all their resilience, are extremely vulnerable to one thing: rot. When the rhizomes become saturated, they lose the ability to absorb oxygen, nutrients, and even water itself. The plant that was built to survive drought dies from the inside out. The whole time it's happening, the leaves up top still look fine. You won't see the problem for weeks, sometimes months. That's what happened to Vera. She looked healthy long after she had already started dying. So let's talk about what you're planting her in. Standard potting mix is designed for most houseplants, those fibrous rooted plants that like consistent moisture. It's rich, it holds water, it's often peat-based or core-based, which means it stays damp for a long time. For a fiddle leaf fig, that's fine. For a pothos, that's fine. For a ZZ plant, that is a slow-moving disaster. When you bring your ZZ home, whether you have a classic green variety or a Raven ZZ with those dark purple leaves, the move is to repot it immediately into a cactus and succulent potting mix, not regular potting mix. Not well-draining potting mix, which is a phrase that appears on approximately every bag of soil and means almost nothing in practice. Cactus and succulent mix is grittier, it has larger particles, and it creates air pockets in the soil that let oxygen reach the rhizomes between waterings. It dries out faster, which for most plants would be a problem, and for a ZZ plant is exactly the point. If you want to go further, amend your soil with perlite, coarse sand, or pea gravel to increase drainage and add even more air pockets. Some growers also use vermiculite for its drainage properties. About 1/3 perlite mixed into cactus mix is the combination I've landed on after going through a few more Veras than I care to admit. The goal is a soil that dries out completely between waterings. Completely. The Zanzibar Gem follows what you might call a drenches between droughts rule. Continuous soil moisture doesn't just stress the root system, it starts destroying it and causes those rhizomes to rot from the inside out. You water deeply, then you walk away and you don't come back until the soil is bone dry, not slightly dry at the top, all the way through. For a lot of plant people, that feels wrong. It feels like neglect. For a ZZ, it's exactly right. Now, the pot, this is the one I got wrong with, Vera, and I see it everywhere. People choose pots for how they look, which makes complete sense. We're decorating our homes. We want something beautiful. But the pot you choose for a ZZ plant isn't just a design decision. It's a life or death decision for the rhizomes, and most people have no idea. Here's what you need to know about pot materials. Terracotta is porous. It actually wicks moisture out through the walls, which helps the soil dry faster. For a ZZ, that's a good thing. And if you're going terracotta, one drainage hole at the bottom is usually enough because the material itself helps pull moisture away. Glazed ceramic, plastic, glass, metal, these are all non-porous. Water can only leave through the drainage holes at the bottom, so the soil stays wet longer. If you love the look of glazed ceramic, which I do, you need to be even more careful about your soil mix and your watering frequency. For non-porous pots larger than 6 inches, you really want at least 3 drainage holes spaced evenly across the bottom so water moves through the soil uniformly. And then there's the mistake I think is the most common one and the most invisible. No drainage hole at all. Decorative pots, planters, beautiful things from homeware shops and markets that were never designed to hold a living plant. People put their ZZ directly in them, or they put the nursery pot inside and let it sit in the water that collects at the bottom. A pot with poor drainage doesn't just slow down drying, it actively traps water against the root system and will eventually kill the plant, even if you're careful about watering, even if your soil is good. The water has nowhere to go, so it stays, and the rhizomes sit in it. If you love a decorative pot, keep it as a cache pot. Put your ZZ in a proper nursery pot with drainage, set it inside the decorative one, and tip out any water that collects in the bottom after you water. That's the workaround. It's not perfect, but it works. Here's what I want you to sit with. The Zanzibar Gem has a reputation for being indestructible, nearly impossible to kill. And that reputation isn't wrong exactly, it's just misunderstood. A ZZ is incredibly resilient to the things people usually worry about with houseplants. Low light, forgetting to water, dry air. It handles all of that without complaint. But it has one vulnerability, one specific, invisible weakness that develops slowly over months while the plant looks completely healthy on the surface. And that vulnerability lives in the choices you make before you ever bring the plant home, or right when you do. The pot you choose, the soil you fill it with. Those two decisions are made in the first 5 minutes, and they determine what happens 6 months later. When the rhizomes start to rot from sitting in wet soil, the first signs are yellowing leaves and mushy stems near the base. You might also notice fungus gnats hovering around the soil surface. These tiny flies are often the first indicator that moisture levels are too high. By the time those signs appear, the rot has usually been progressing for weeks underground, which is why, by the time I saw Vera's leaves going yellow and decided she needed more water, I was already too late. The fix is not complicated. Gritty, fast draining soil. A pot with real drainage. Water deeply and then wait until the soil is completely dry before you water again. That's the whole thing. If you already have a ZZ in dense potting mix in a pot without drainage, now is the time to change it. You don't have to wait until she starts struggling. Move her before she does. And if you're buying a ZZ for the first time, do this before you put her in her permanent home. Repot her immediately into the right setup and give her the foundation she actually needs, not the one the store gave her. Now, I know some of you have a ZZ right now that doesn't look quite right. Yellow leaves, a stem that feels a little soft near the soil. If that's you, check the rhizomes. Take her out of the pot and look at what's happening underneath. Healthy rhizomes are firm and pale. Dark or mushy means rot has started and you need to act now. Trim away the damaged parts. Treat what's left with a diluted hydrogen peroxide solution, 2 parts water to 1 part, 3% hydrogen peroxide. Repot into fresh, gritty mix with real drainage. Give her time. Plants are patient with us, even when we get things wrong. The ZZ more than most. If this helped you understand your plant a little better, leave a comment below. Tell me what pot and soil setup you're using. Or tell me about the ZZ you're trying to save. I read everything.